it is definitely turbo time. I finally have the brand new Funko talking Turboman figure from the classic cheesy Arnold Schwarzenegger Christmas holiday movie Turboman. Well, no, Jingle All the Way, not Turboman. Turboman was the character in the movie, of course, with his own show and movie and toy and basically the whole premise of the Jingle All the Way movie. Now, this has been out for, I want to say, maybe 2 months now. It completely threw off everyone. It was a huge surprise. As far as I can tell from the research I did, this was supposed to come out closer to Christmas and closer to the Jingle All the Way anniversary, which I believe it's the 25th anniversary if I'm not mistaken. Regardless of the anniversary, this was supposed to be released closer to Christmas. And obviously Funko does their own, they are the ones who authorize the release and shipment and all that. So I don't know what went wrong or what their plan or ultimate goal was. I never saw an announcement. I never saw like a prototype. I never saw Funko share it or talk about it or anything until I happened to stumble across something on Twitter of someone picking this up at their local Walmart, and this is a Walmart exclusive. I searched and searched and searched. I went to probably 10 different Walmarts in my area around my home and at work. Didn't find any. I would check in with associates and ask them to scan the barcode that I found, and they would tell me July 30th. I returned July 30th and they still didn't have any. Luckily, before then, I had found someone who was kind enough in, I think, North Dakota or South Dakota, who was able to find it in Walmart, and he was kind enough to send it to me at cost plus shipping, and I really didn't want to pay over $100 for this, as those are the prices on eBay. They're going for $80, $90 before shipping, and of course, being in California, you have that crazy tax you have to tack onto it. I don't have the original vintage version from when the movie came out. Those are going for like $400 or $500, as they have been for the last 10 years. Maybe one day I'll pick it up, but until then, I'm happy to have this figure in my collection. And let's get right into it. So overall, the package is similar. The major differences are the colors and some of the labels. Of course, the vintage one wasn't the Walmart exclusive, so we won't have that Walmart logo. And I think the colors are a little bit more matte in this one. They might be a little bit brighter in the original one, of course, if the packaging hasn't faded. We have that huge window box display with Turboman here flying over the city, talking Turboman by Funko, and of course the original one was not done by Funko, but from what I read, this is an exact mold and replica from that figure, so that is pretty cool. Electronic lights and sounds. And the window was a little bit damaged, but the guy who helped me said they were all like that, so it's not a big deal. On the side, we have again Turboman with the same logo, deluxe 13.5-inch edition, fully posable. And on the back, we just have the figure with his backpack on, the turbo disc, the turbo disc launcher, and some insights and info about the lights and sounds and everything, all the electronic. Turboman, Dementor, Booster, Demon 2, Demon 1, Demon 3. Of course, I am incredibly late to the party, but I still wanted to give my thoughts. So let's go ahead and open this up and get a closer look at the figure. Here we have Turboman out of his packaging. Even though I never had the vintage or the classic Turboman, this is really bringing back memories of just those old school, really awesome toys. And it really reminds me of when I was a kid. I mean, toys now are great to an extent, but they don't have that same feeling like when you were a kid, like when I was in the 90s or early 2000s, or I'm sure people who grew up in the 60s, 70s, 80s and had all those amazing toys too, coupled with the imagination and actually playing with them and not just throwing them on a shelf and collecting them and debating on whether or not to open them or leave them in the package or not. This thing is pretty freaking cool. I really love this. I went ahead and hooked up all the accessories. Let's get a closer look at it before we get into that. It stands pretty well. One thing I'm surprised, they don't have any peg holes on the feet. Granted, it's a larger action figure. I would have thought in this day and age they would be putting peg holes just to make it a little bit easier to stand. I hope it doesn't loosen up at the joints and things do kind of stay strong, but that is just one fear I do have. And the paint is fantastic all around. We have that beautiful, kind of like a dark red, close to burgundy gloss paint all around. We have the matte and glossy gold here and there. You do see slight variations from the paint in the chest to the arms. I'm not sure if that was intentional and that did just pop off, so I'm going to leave that off for now. The sculpt and the details look amazing. Like I mentioned, this was sculpted from the original toy, and of course I'm sure they made a few differences with the electronics, and I can't really compare 100% to what the original did or did not have, but everything does look pretty spot on. I don't think the visor, no, that doesn't come on, and I'll get into the articulation in just a moment. We do have the backpack on, and this one just snaps out as well. It's kind of like, let me show that, almost like a USB port we have back there. And the backpack here with the beautiful gold color, and all the details in here looks really great. I love that. And the button to open the wings, which I will show in just a moment. And the battery pack is also down here. Takes 2 AA batteries. Let me just applaud them. Thank you for pretty much hiding this and making it flush, and we don't have some random battery compartment where it doesn't need to be. And it's pretty accessible. And the backpack or the jetpack does fit almost perfect. I mean, that is flush, that is snug, nothing sticking out, no gaps. I love it. We've got the little pocket on the boot for his boomerang, which I'll get into in just a moment as well. We've got some lights here that I will turn on. I wish that said like Andy or something, or Arnold. And yeah, like I said, because I'm so late, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but at least give my thoughts and overview. And let me pull out that boomerang also. This one does open up all the way. We have a nice paint job, a few little scuffs and issues here and there, but no big deal. Does look great, and I believe you can really put this in either hand. Both hands are in that fixed position, and it fits pretty well. So that's good. It doesn't stick out or isn't really, it's kind of loose, but you can tell it's kind of snug in there, so it won't fall off or out of the hand. And then the disc blaster, these are the small discs. You press that yellow button and it does shoot out. There we go, losing that. And it's kind of a weird way it wraps around. It doesn't really click on, but this kind of wraps around the wrist, I think, over here, but it doesn't really click either. You kind of have to slide it in. I guess it's a little bit weird, but that's why it kind of popped off. They should have made some kind of attachment and changed maybe this wrist to be able to hold that blaster on it. The individual discs, I don't think we actually ever got a close-up of these in the movie, but it's nice to have some fun little details. The head does go left and right, doesn't go forward and back. We do have the arms at the shoulders go out, forward and back as well. They don't twist. The elbows just front and back. Nothing at the wrists. Nothing at the waist.
Good work, Booster.
Oh, there's the first sound. And the legs do go slightly in and out. They go forward and back at the thighs. The knees, we've got a single joint there. And that is about it. I don't think these are supposed to twist really. But you can get him in a decent... It definitely is. So let me go ahead and run through the sounds, the voices, or the quotes I should say.
Beware of evildoers. It's turbo time. Beware of evildoers. Beware of evildoers.
So there's something definitely wrong with the audio. Even before I was filming, I was kind of testing it out, and it would just repeat some of the quotes. I'm not sure why, and I would have to press the button either fast or twice to get it to the next one.
Beware of evildoers. Good work, Booster.
That time it worked.
Good work. It's turbo time.
So if you click it really fast, it does go on to the next one.
Good work. Good work. You can always count on me. Beware. You can It's turbo time.
So I think there's 4 quotes. It's turbo time, good job Booster, you can always count on me, and beware evildoers.
Beware of evildoers. It's turbo. Beware. Good work, Booster. Good work. Good work. Good work, Booster. Good work, Booster.
And see, sometimes you can't quite get it to the next quote.
It's turbo. It's turbo. You beware. Good. Beware. It's good. You can always count on me.
Yeah, so it looks like those are the only 4 quotes. And the bottom switch, when you flip that up, we have some lights on the thighs, and I'll turn off the light here so you can see how bright they are. And on the back with this button for the jetpack, that does pop out. And we do have that constant jet noise like he's flying, which I wish there was some way to turn that off. And of course I'm speaking as if I'm going to be playing with this all the time, but I would have liked to have it displayed with the jetpack open and not having the lights and sounds. Granted, I might just take out the batteries because I don't want to have this sitting on my shelf for however many months at a time with the batteries just rotting away. But yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. And I don't know if I do any, or if we do have any different quotes and sounds.
Good work, Booster.
So the speaker is from the same, or it does come out the same speaker, so you won't get anything different. It'll just stop one.
It's turbo time.
Yeah, and it just goes back to that.
Always count on me.
And I think when you do that, these flash also for the quotes.
It's turbo time.
Yeah. And then pop that in and it stops. Let me turn off the lights so we can see all the lights on the figure in the darkness. I'm gonna go ahead and do the jetpack first. So it's not crazy bright, but again, kind of has that classic vintage toy feel with the lights. I really like it. I think it's pretty cool, and it is better than most modern lights and features we get. And let me turn on the legs, or the thigh lights, if I can find the switch for it. There we go. So the ones on the thighs aren't really a big deal, and I don't recall ever seeing lights on the thighs either in the quote-unquote live action when Arnold puts on the suit, or in the show, or even on the toy in the movie. Put that on so you can kind of see the lights coming off from the hips and around the arms, but other than that you can't see it all that well. And yeah, only the lights on the jetpack do kind of pause and blink, not the ones on the thighs when you do the quotes.
It's turbo time.
There we have it, folks. That is the quick Turboman review and my thoughts on it. Again, really great figure. If you love the movie, definitely recommend trying to find one at retail, or maybe a friend that can pick one up with a small fee. Don't pay the crazy eBay prices. I'm sure Funko's going to come out with more. I can't imagine they're going to make this such a limited release, but then again, I couldn't imagine how popular this figure actually was, given that although it's expensive, there are always vintage figures popping up on eBay. I kind of hope that they do make the other characters. I would love to have Booster, even though no one likes Booster. I like Booster, and the Dementor, and maybe the Demons also. But until then, I'm happy with this figure. It'll be a nice start, sort of, to my Jingle All the Way collection. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.